One of the things that I've been interested in is seeing how people will share on social media and other places statements such as, you cannot be a Christian and then you fill in the blank. They come up with all kinds of stuff as to what you cannot be or what you cannot belong to in order to be a Christian. I've seen just about everything. I've seen people claim that you cannot be a Christian and be in the military. I'm a Christian and I'm in the military, so I think it's possible. But I'm not going to focus on that right now. I thought I would do something really radical, and that is go to Google. And I typed into Google, can you be a Christian and I wanted to see what comes up. What were the top questions that people were asking with that? And I was kind of interested in the responses. And so I have 10 things that people have asked questions about. Can you be a Christian? And here they are. Now, having looked at that, I'm going to begin with the first one, and I'm going to make a number of other videos looking at each of the other ones. And it's interesting because it will take me in some directions that I've never really thought about before. But the first one is one that I have wrestled with, so let's get right into it. Can you be a Christian and not go to church? Now, I do believe in church. I am a pastor. I am recording this video in my church office, and so I believe in church. But can you be a Christian and not go to church? Yes, you can. That might not be the answer you were looking for. Maybe you were hoping that I would come down strong, bang my fist on the desk and say, no, you cannot be a Christian and not go to church. Now, the question might be, and most often, really, this is what should be asked, is should a Christian blank? And so should a Christian not go to church? That's a different question. So let's just kind of think about this a little bit. Can a person be a Christian and not go to church? Well, obviously there are people who don't go to church for whatever reasons. There are lots of people who are shut-ins, people who are in nursing homes, people who have health issues, people with disabilities, all kinds of reasons why people might not go to church. And we're not going to say that these people are not Christians. So we don't want to say you can't be a Christian and not go to church. And I don't think anyone takes that. Well, I better not say that, because there probably are some people who think you absolutely have to be in church in order to be a Christian. But that is not really the case. This really became an issue during COVID when church buildings were shut down, and a lot of the people who broke with the rules and were willing to pay fines in order to worship together, they would have used this as one of the reasons that we are supposed to go to church. We're supposed to worship together, and there's nothing that can stop us. And if the government tries to stop us, even if it's for the sake of a pandemic and it's for the sake of public health, we can't do that. That's persecution, because we are commanded to join together. I would like to say a couple things about that. One is that the passage in Hebrews that tells us that it's important for us to gather together, it's not thinking of a church building. The author of Hebrews had never considered that there would be such a thing as a church building. They would have met in homes, and so that is just not an issue. So for us to say that we have to go to a particular building and that is a requirement of our faith, that's hard to make looking just at biblical data. the early church really were worshiping in homes. So I like churches. I think church buildings can do a great thing, and I'm thankful for them, but that is not a requirement. So we might ask then, well, what are we supposed to do? Well, certainly that passage in Hebrews is recommending that we gather together, and it is important for Christians to gather together in fellowship for encouragement, and of course, corporate worship is very important as well. But again, I'm going to acknowledge that it's going to be difficult for a lot of people. There are reasons why people do not do that. I am very much interested in the disability conversation, especially autism. And I know a lot of people with autism will really struggle with corporate worship, being around people. There's so many things that are happening, sensory issues. And some people with autism, not all, but some people might not appreciate just that time around each other as much. They might look for other settings in which they would find encouragement. So I want to be sensitive to that. I think in general, if we can, it is important for us to get together. And but the fact is that there's going to be people who that's going to be a challenge for whatever reason. That does not make them not a Christian. What is a Christian? A Christian is someone who follows Jesus. And you might say, well, if you follow Jesus, then you go to church because he told us to go to church. He didn't actually say for us to go to church, more for us to be the church. That's really what he's talking about. But I'd also say Jesus said for us to give to the poor, and a lot of Christians don't give money to the poor. We might give money to the church building, but they don't necessarily give money to the poor, and Jesus said a lot about that. So yeah, you can be a Christian and not go to church, but that's not me saying, hey, you know what, if you're annoyed with people at church, just stay home, don't worry about it. It's not a sin to miss a Sunday. I'm not saying that either, but church is an important part. Church gathering is an important part of our faith, and it's great for us to be able to do that. But it is not something that determines whether or not we are a Christian. So there you go. There is the answer. I'm going to tackle the next one in the next video, so be watching for that. And also visit me at my website, stephenjbedard.com. Thank you, and God bless.